Welcome to the Fashionista Life podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Johnson. If you find yourself here, it may mean that you're looking for courage, clarity, or confidence in some part of your life. I interview experts in business, fashion, and life each week and share strategies for motivation, success, and mindset. Let's get started. Today, we welcome back into the studio Karen Shepard. Karen is the owner of HR by Karen and has over is it 15 years?
Almost 15 years.
Almost 15 years of experience in HR, and she is always described by her peers as genuine and passionate and creative. She's the partner that you want to take your business to the next level, and she wants to work together to change the why not to why not us. I love that.
Thank you.
So the
Thank
last
you.
podcast we talked about quiet quitting and the great resignation and all of those things. Now we want to talk about leadership because that is like the cornerstone of any business whatsoever,
Yes.
right?
Starts at the top.
Exactly. And that's what leadership is. So, uh, what do you think, in your opinion, as an HR professional, that there's three key areas? Are there, the three key areas that you see when you're trying to hire somebody from the outside for a leadership position, or you're trying to promote somebody from within for a leadership position? What are the three key things that we should look for as a leader ourselves?
Sure. So, the first thing as a leader that you should look for, honestly, is their soft skill, especially in a leadership
So let's
position.
talk about that. We touched on it briefly in the
Yes.
last podcast, but what are, if some people may not know what soft skills are?
So, soft skills is everything you can't teach
Oh,
or train on.
okay.
Okay.
Like what?
Like their work ethic, their drive,
Okay.
their um their communication style,
Okay.
um their behaviors are something that is an inside job, right?
Okay.
You can change a behavior. For example, it's all on the mindset that you love,
Mhm.
right? It's that self-talk. As leaders, we have to accept the failure and we can't have that negative self-talk.
Mhm.
That to me is huge. That is huge.
So, how would, if I were hiring someone, how
Yes.
would I know in an interview what
Yes.
your soft skills are?
So you can tell on their demeanor.
Okay.
How do they come in? Do they walk in confident
Mhm.
and secure? How's their handshake? Are they good listeners? Are they listening? Are they waiting to talk?
Oh,
Or are they waiting and really taking in and being present in the moment what you're saying?
okay.
So that is listening is a skill. And I will tell you that in the DISC assessment, I am a solid I. And if you know
What does that
anything
mean?
about the eyes, it means that we are leaders,
Whoa.
right? We just are creative. We want to get out there. We don't, we see the vision, we see the big picture. We
Mhm.
just want to do it. And we don't care about the details. We're just going to get there.
Get her done.
Just get her done. Doesn't matter what it takes, right?
Oh God, I'm probably that.
And we just like
Wow.
to talk and talk and talk and tell stories.
That is not you.
So I had to change that behavior.
Mhm.
I knew I had to become a better listener. So this is a something that I have been working on
Mhm.
for a long time. So as leaders, it's very important to understand what you have control of and what you don't have control of.
So you were talking about the disc.
Yes.
Is that, let's say where in the process would we use that? Should we use that?
Yes,
But
I highly recommend it because let's say so disc is the dominant.
mhm.
It is you have the dominant side, and then as you go around the circle to the eye, it gets more fun
Okay.
Then it gets when you get to the bottom, you get more steady, and C is all the analytical.
Oh boy.
So if we had partiers, if we all had eyes in the team,
Oh boy, that would
we probably would just be partying the whole time,
Mhm.
right? Whereas you kind of need the S's to keep you steady and creative still because they're on that side. But the dominant, you need someone who's going to be a leader and just
Right,
really show, give me the facts.
right.
I know this one company. I walked in one day and they had these letters on their on these buttons. And I'm like, what are the letters mean? And she goes, it's the DISC assessment. And it shows you how to approach that
Oh my
person.
gosh.
They trained everyone how to approach, how an I should approach a D.
Mhm.
It is so very interesting.
Oh,
I
that is
actually just got certified recently in it.
so
It's very
but
interesting.
when is the right time? So I have a candidate or somebody from the outside that you wanna hire.
Yes.
Do you do that as part of your interview process, and can you use that as a
Before
precipice for hiring or
yes.
not?
Yes, because if you are looking I just had actually someone share with me that they didn't get hired because they weren't the right fit, and I said, "Well, I
Oh.
understand that,
Mhm.
because if they took an assessment that said they have the behaviors or the personality of one thing, what that shows is maybe their skill set won't work
Mhm.
in that opportunity that they're looking for. And also, oh, this person's been here 10 years. They're not going anywhere and they're not going to get along.
So so companies are using that to determine they're doing the potential employee a favor as well.
Yes.
So that if you reframe it and you think
Yes.
about, well, I didn't get hired, I wasn't a good fit, wah wah wah. Well, no, but they were doing you a favor too.
Yes.
It doesn't happen to you; it happens for you.
Right.
I mean, really,
Yes.
that's the whole pretense of it.
Yes.
So you would do a disc assessment as part of a hiring process. But let's say you have someone you're thinking of moving up on the inside. Can you implement that just across the board? Do you have to do it to everybody?
Well, it's best to be consistent about it.
Mhm.
Uh, last one company I worked with, everyone had to do an assessment. So you know how everyone works.
Mm, right.
It's just makes a total lot of sense. Now I also have a trait set that I work with as well for assessments, and those show you someone's work ethic.
Oh, wow.
They show you how they do with sales or leadership. So I met Dan, part of HR Collier, who does Trait Set, and it's an amazing assessment tool. And
Trade set.
yeah, I use it often.
So the first one was soft skills. We spent a lot of time on that because that's really
It
important.
really is.
What's the second? The second,
What it,
when we were talking about taking somebody and you were hiring someone for a leadership position, um, the three key areas when you're hiring. And first was soft skills.
yes, making sure that they have also uh, the ability to foster, I guess, flexibility and agility.
Okay.
Okay. You know, it's let's say someone, for example, is looking for a an opportunity, and they need to have a degree.
Hmm.
They need to have the skill sets. They need to have, obviously, if you're hiring accounting, you need to know
Oh, right.
accounting. Okay. However, what if it's in a hospitality industry and they're going into the um, carpentry,
Hmm.
into the construction industry? Well, those are two totally separate industries. However, I will hire anyone who's ever been in hospitality.
Oh, exactly. Yes.
Okay. You have to really recognize
Mhm.
as a leader what are transferable skills. And no one thinks of that.
Right. It's a people skill,
It is
and you have
yes.
to be a people person to be in
Yes.
hospitality.
Yeah. And a lot of people and leaders
Mhm.
are kind of demanding
Yeah.
micromanagers,
Right.
unfortunately. So we have to learn how to change some of our behaviors, which is possible.
Mhm.
That I guess that's what I was that was the number 2 is being able to change the behavior.
Okay. And then flexibility was the 3rd one.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Really understanding who you people are.
Mhm.
You really have to know who they are
Right.
and where the integration of their work life balance is needed. I mean, okay, for example, if someone shows up to work and they had their daughter was in a play at school that day
Mhm.
and she couldn't leave work. Do you think that employee is being productive sitting
No.
there?
Right. She's at the play
She's at the
mentally.
mentally.
Mhm.
She's there. So send her.
Yeah. It goes back to that empathy we talked about,
Yes.
and leading with heart,
Compassion, empathy,
compassion.
and heart all day long.
Great words to lead by for sure.
Yes.
Is your closet overflowing? Or maybe your kids' closets are as well. Or maybe you just want to redecorate your house. If you're wondering what to do with all that stuff that you've accumulated, bring it all to True Fashionistas or even ship it to them for free. They'll sell your unwanted items for you. They take away all the hassle by doing all the work, and all you have to do is sit back and collect your money. You can reach out to them online at truefashionistas.com or come into the store or check them out on Facebook or Instagram, and that is truefashionistas.com. Welcome back, friends. We are in studio with Karen Shepard, who is the owner of HR by Karen, and we're talking about uh, hiring leaders. And now we're going to talk about developing those leaders. So let's say you have people on your team and you just know that I know, I can feel it that though that person is destined to be a leader someday. What are a few things that we can do to get them ready or get them to the point where I can promote them to a leadership position?
Yes. Training is so important with managers and your leadership. And a lot of team building activities is really one of the great things to do, the
Okay.
team building activities. Uh, it can be anything for team building. You can do a 5K together. You can go
Who
to
wants to run? I'm just kidding.
not me,
Not me,
but
but maybe.
maybe there's a lot of that team building. Maybe there is a group like NAMI. They do their
Mhm.
walk once a year, or Susan B. Komen does a year, or Relay for Life.
Mhm.
That's a huge team building because it tugs at the heartstrings of
Absolutely.
what someone is important, and it allows the team to get to know each other at the end of the day
Outside of the
outside
workplace.
of the workplace. It's so important to have those activities, the summer picnics, get to know the
Mhm.
family, uh, invite the whole family in for a summer picnic. But getting to know your people outside of work is so important because you
Mhm.
learn what is important by
That's
doing
true.
that.
And it breaks down those barriers.
Yes,
At work, that may be your boss.
right.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's really important because let me tell you, as cliche as this sounds, we all put our pants on the same.
Mhm.
We all brush our teeth the same. We all get dressed the same.
Right.
We all have the same routine in the morning, right?
Mhm.
I mean, essentially the basics. And it is it is so important to understand that leaders make mistakes too.
Mhm.
We are not perfect. What a lot of leaders don't do well is are transparent about it
Yeah, right.
because they don't want to let their people know that they failed
Mhm.
them. However, the more transparent a leader can be, the more real
Mhm.
they are going to be. And the more their people will want to help you.
Mhm. Authenticity.
Authenticity all day long.
Because if I know you're like me, I know I'm not perfect. So, a lot of people put a manager up here. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see what I'm doing, but
Mhm.
way up on a pedestal and I'm underneath them. The best leaders are those that make you feel even.
Yes. I always say I can't stand an organizational chart. It's one of
Mhm.
the things I say in my presentations. An organizational chart should be flipped because I got to tell you, that receptionist, that
Yes.
janitor, that those are the important people.
Mhm.
So that tip of the iceberg, that triangle, I think there's always this misconception that people have because they only see the leaders at the tip, but
Right.
they don't know what that leader did to get to that
Right.
tip.
Mhm.
Like, please respect that and understand that.
Right.
It's so, I get a little emotional about it because it's the truth.
It is.
People think that you have all this success, but what it took to get there.
It's kinda like that overnight success. You see
Yes.
a star and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I had never heard of them before, and they were an overnight success." No,
Right.
that's not how it worked.
Right.
Years and years of we've all heard of the people who've lived in their car for, like,
Mhm.
5 years, and then they hit it big. It's that, it's all that work, that iceberg, like you said. You don't see all the work that was part of that foundation.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. We all we all have a foundation.
Mhm.
It is up to us. It is an inside job
Mhm.
for leaders. How are we drumming to our own heartbeat and our because that's the only thing we have control over is our and the beat is our beliefs, our emotions, our actions and our thoughts.
I love that.
Okay?
Beliefs?
Yeah. Beliefs, emotions, actions, and thoughts. I have a card I can give you.
That is awesome. I love that acronym.
And it's what we have control of. That's it. Those four things.
Mhm.
How someone else reacts, we have no control of that.
Mhm.
So either just say thank you for the feedback or feed into the trigger, which
Right.
is it to
Right.
you?
Exactly.
To me, I'd rather just say thank you for your feedback and be done with it because it takes more energy
Of course it does.
to be angry,
Mhm.
takes more energy to be upset. So, leaders who are listening, drum to your own heartbeat and really have the compassion, empathy, and heart
That's great advice.
for what you can't control.
It's wonderful advice.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a speed round with you right now. I
Okay.
do this at the end of some of my podcasts where
Mhm.
it just is a little dive into you.
Okay.
What does success look like or mean to you? What is success to you?
Success to me primarily is leaving a legacy.
Mm.
Honestly, I I want to share so much, and that's why I give my HR advice out every month to business owners and as often as I can because it's the legacy. What are you leaving behind that's important? When I'm gone, I want people to remember how I made them feel.
Mhm. Maya Angelou, right? They'll
Yes,
forget what you said, they'll forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel.
it's my favorite quote.
Mhm. It's
It's my
beautiful.
favorite quote. And it's the truth
It is.
because I may not even remember someone's name.
Right, we see a lot of people, right?
Yes, yes. But I remember how they made me feel.
Mhm.
And, I'm a hugger.
Mhm.
I
Yes.
will hug everyone I see. And it's because I feel everyone needs to be loved.
Mhm.
It's just, and that's the legacy I want.
That's
That's success. It's not
awesome.
how much money is in my bank because
Right. Mhm.
it doesn't matter.
Who do you lean on for advice?
Uh, who do I lean on for advice? That's a good question. I guess if it is personal,
Mhm.
I have some besties, some I've known just for a couple years,
Mhm.
and some I've known since I was a baby.
Wow.
Right?
Mhm.
So, I'm kind of old.
Oh, you're not. You're not.
Yes, I'm 58, believe it or not. So,
Wow.
been around for a minute. So, my best friend lives in New Hampshire. We talk nearly every day. And then my college roommate all the time. I mean, you're looking at 50 years of
It's pretty cool.
friendship. How does how
That's
does how does
right.
that even happen?
That's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And what is the hardest part of what you do?
The hardest part of what I do, um, well, professionally, let me go back
Yes,
to the
professionally.
leaning for advice. I am so blessed to have a community of HR professionals
Mhm.
who are so smart and so savvy. And if I know, and even some of the employment law attorneys,
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I mean, they've become my friends and my mentors and guiding me. If I'm unclear of the path that I'm heading,
Mhm.
that's who I probably lean on the most are my HR professionals
Okay.
and mentors. And that goes into the hardest part of what we do. Because even though I joked about being the Terminator, that probably professionally is one of the hardest things that I do.
Mhm.
I do it well. I go in and I rip the Band-Aid with a smile on my face
That's
and
hard.
tissues in my hand. And that is hard. That's leading with compassion. It's like, I know this
Mm.
sucks,
Yes.
but one of the biggest things that is so important and one of those soft skills is accountability. A leader has to hold themselves accountable.
Right.
And too often they point fingers. So it's really important to really peel back that onion and understand why something's happening for you,
Exactly. Not
not
to
to
you.
us.
Yes.
But yeah, so I think terminating professionally is the hardest thing to do.
I think that's hard for everyone, right?
Yeah.
It's the hardest part to do.
Yeah.
It's not fun. Well, Karen, it has been a pleasure
Thank
having you on
you.
today. If our listeners want to get a hold of you, how can they do that?
So, listeners, you could either call me at 239-776-5919, or you can visit my website at hrbykaren.com. And there's lots of HR silly video tips up there
And you
you can
also do a
watch.
weekly. Is it a weekly or is it
I try and do my weekly HR videos, and then once the last Thursday of every month, I do a Zoom, an HR
awesome?
lesson.
Wonderful. Very helpful.
Yes. Thank you.
So thank you so much again for joining us.
Yes, thanks for having me.
And thank you, friends, for joining us today and every week here on the Fashionista Life, brought to you by True Fashionistas. If you want a deeper dive, head to my website, thefashionistalife.com, to sign up for my weekly newsletter where we take a deeper dive each week into a new topic. Have a fabulous day.